of DJ, Adu, Z. We can test. And me.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into Luttie's Lookback. Pure joy there from Arkansas head coach Coach Calipari as the Razorbacks upset number 12 Kentucky 89-79. We've got a packed show with a lot to talk about today, but no bigger than our first story, and that is the Razorbacks with that huge upset win. Let's first start with my three big things, as we always talk about. Man, what a win for the Razorbacks. The first thing is offense. We got offense, we got defense, and then a little bit of a future outlook. What does this mean going into the rest of the season? We'll start with the offense. Efficiency through the roof. This was easily the best game Arkansas has played all year as far as offense is concerned, and maybe defense as well. But as far as offensive efficiency, they shot the ball the best they've shot it all season. Field goal percentage, 55%. That's the best they've done in SEC play this season. Three-point shooting percentage, 52%. 52% from beyond the arc. If you've watched this show for a while, maybe you remember specific things I say. I think it was about a month or two ago I said the number you kind of want to hit there, somewhere around 40. Mid-40s is really good. So to be above 50%, I kind of went back and did some research, like how often has Arkansas been above 50% as far as shooting the three ball in games? It's only happened about once every season for the past few seasons. In the Eric Musselman era, you got to go back to last season. I think it's funny enough, I think it was against Missouri last year. They were like 4 for 6, so they only shot 6 3-pointers. And then the year before that, they were like 11 for 20. So both those above that 50% mark, and then they do it in this game. Again, I don't know if that's really sustainable, but they shot the ball well in this game. When Coach Cal needed them to, they played well. They played their best game of the season. I think it started, I'm going to talk about every single player because it's my show and I can, but I think the player that it starts with is Nelly Davis. And I do want to give him some respect because I kind of trashed him last show. He had 18 points 1 week ago against Oklahoma, and he was 3 for 9, 3 for 11 from beyond the arc. And I said some things about him that maybe he's watching, maybe he got fired up. Because in this game, while he did have the same amount of points, efficiency, that word you see behind me, was the thing he did so well, the thing he excelled at. 18 points, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. Never once in that game did I think he was forcing a shot. There were a couple of shots by some other guys. I was like, oh, he's going to take the 3, and it went in. And that was kind of how Arkansas won this game, was making some shots that they don't normally make. But Nelly Davis, he played his best game as a Razorback, no doubt about it. Even though he scored the same amount of points he did a week ago, and I was trashing him a week ago, and now I'm praising him today because he deserves it, because he was efficient, because he made the shots at the right moments of this game for Arkansas to win. He made the very first three-pointer, and it was off to the races after that. 18 points for Nelly Davis. Also, Adu was the aggressor in this one. He only made 1 3-pointer. He's not a three-point shooter, but the kid can play, you guys. He can get inside. He can make some incredible plays. Well, go back and watch the game, probably about the 3-minute mark of the second half. He goes up, looks like he's going to dunk it, and then floats through the air, and then reverse layup, good. He has some spectacular plays in this game, and he played really well for the Razorbacks. Big Z was big. He had a couple big three-pointers. It was fun to see those former Kentucky Wildcats play so good in the arena that they were in last year and played their home games. You knew that this meant something to them. We all knew this was going to mean something to Coach Calipari, but for the former Kentucky Wildcats that are now with the Razorbacks that followed Cal, the DJ Wagner, Adu, and Zvonimir Ivicic, all three of those guys had some of their best games of the season probably, and you can tell it meant something to them. It's not just like they made a couple great shots. They played like it meant something to them. They played like it meant something to their head coach because it did. And they'll probably never say it, and neither will Coach Cal to say, we were extra amped up for this game because it was my return to Kentucky. But everyone knows that there's a little oomph, an extra oomph in this game that those 3 players and John Calipari had. And the offensive efficiency was incredible in this game for the Razorbacks. Every punch that Kentucky had, Arkansas punched back, and they punched back harder, which we haven't seen this season. We've seen stretches of Arkansas playing really good basketball, but never a complete game shooting as well as they did in this game. But as great as the offense was, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, all right? My opinion, I think it's the defense that won them the game. It was hard-nosed, tough defense, and that moves on to my second point. Kentucky is a team that has hit the triple digits multiple times this year. They're a team that is number 3 in points per game in the country. Arkansas held them to 79 points in Rupp Arena. That's really impressive. Again, second time I'm going to tell you to go back and watch this game. I should preface first. Watch the rest of the show, then go back and watch the game. But remember this, what I tell you. Offense, I said, started with Nelly Davis. The defense, I think, started with DJ Wagner. You go back and watch that game. Now, Arkansas had, I wrote it down here somewhere, 10 steals in this game. Great defensive effort. Steals, the defense leading to offense. I love that. DJ Wagner didn't have a steal. It didn't matter because of the way he played. You watch the way he played. I think he was guarding Jackson Robinson for most of this game. He had active hands the entire game. His hands were moving. They were following the ball. They were following his eye. That's what you want out of a really good physical guard. DJ Wagner, he grew up before our eyes, honestly, and he filled the role that was left by Boogie Fland. Of course, Boogie Fland out for the season. Someone needed to fill that role as the point guard. And DJ Wagner did it on the offensive end, yes. He had all 17 of his points in the second half, but he did it most impressively on the defensive end. When things weren't going the best for him offensively, he didn't have any points in the first half. Not that he really needed to. Other guys were going, so he facilitated to others, first of all, and he came up big on the defensive end. Didn't get turnovers, didn't get steals, but he affected the game in a really big way. You go back and you watch the tape. DJ Wagner played some intense defense to help Arkansas win this game, and the team did as well. All together, it was a group effort. It wasn't just DJ Wagner. I got to throw in Billy Richmond as well in there as well. He only had 4 points in this game, but 2 of those points were some of the biggest points of the game for the Razorbacks. It was only 2 points, but that dunk, that steal, and that dunk were some of the biggest points of the game as far as momentum goes. Because it's a momentum basketball game. A dunk is only worth 2 points wherever you go, wherever you play basketball. But when Billy Richmond dunked that ball and quieted that Rupp Arena, things changed. It was a statement to say Arkansas is here and we're not going away. And they didn't go away in this game. So really impressive. They brought the intensity, they brought the energy, they brought the effort. Not only did the 3 Kentucky guys do it, Cal got his team ready. And I kept saying before this game, I said, if there's any game John Calipari is going to have his team ready to go, it's going to be this game. And that is surely what happened in an impressive win. So those are my first 2 points. The last one kind of moves on to a bigger question. Will this game be an outlier? Is this sustainable for the future? As far as three-point percentage goes, again, they shot over 50% from beyond the arc. I don't think that's sustainable. I don't think they're going to shoot beyond 50%, but maybe one other time this season. Because based on the past few seasons, I know this is a different team, it hasn't happened much. And I don't think it's going to happen much. The thing that is sustainable is the defense. And if the defense can bring that amount of energy and effort and enthusiasm like they play at Rupp Arena every single night, if they played the same exact way that they played in this Kentucky game, forget about it, man. Not only will Arkansas be an NCAA basketball team and play in March Madness, it could be one of the better teams in the SEC if they played that way, if they play with that effort. And you throw in making those three-pointers, this team is really good, which is funny because a week ago they weren't good. But if you have a game like this that you play really good, you give some fans some hope, and maybe, just maybe, the team rides some of that momentum to the rest of the year. Well, we got like a month until the SEC tournament starts. You never know. It's all about getting hot at the right time. So is Arkansas, are they hitting their stride right now? Maybe not. It's just one game. But one game could turn into more than one game. So I didn't really answer that question. I don't want it to be an outlier. I don't think you do either. I don't want it to be like a football team where it's, oh my gosh, they beat Tennessee. We stormed the field. It was awesome. I don't want it to be like that. And the rest of the season, Arkansas was mid at football. I don't want it to be like that for this basketball team. I think this basketball team obviously has more potential than the football team did. It's about the energy. It's about the effort. It's about the tenacity and the mindset that they bring into these games. So hopefully they can create some momentum after this game and go on and go forward and keep on winning basketball games. So those are some of my thoughts about a crazy game, Arkansas taking down Kentucky. Let's hear from head coach of the Razorbacks, Coach Calipari, on what must be a pretty good feeling to beat his former team.
Coming back and playing this well, we played well. We did. It's not, made a lot of shots but we've lost a lot of games because as we offer. Like, guys, you got to make some. So it's nice to know they can play this way. We had a great week of practice, and I told them, you're primed for this now. Let's go. Like I told them, I'm coaching fearless today. I want you to play fearless. Play. I wanted DJ to run more of the stuff so they're not looking at me, they're looking at him. So there's stuff we got to do and to build on this, but we got to build on this. Like, all right, it's a great win. It's one. We only got two. So now we got to rack up and see if we're getting better.
Yeah, I feel like Cal has a good mindset on it, and it makes sense. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He should have a good mindset. But I was kind of curious what he would say after that game where they play so good, and it's his return home. And yes, he did mention a few times here or there about his return and how, he did some great things at Kentucky. But I was impressed by how focused he was on this team, and not only focused on this team, but also focused on this is just one game. And he mentioned it there at the end. They only just have 2 SEC wins. That's still pretty bad in the grand scheme of things. You zoom out, that's not a great record, not good at all. So he mentioned it there. They got to create some momentum to head into their next few games. Next up for them will be Texas on Wednesday. If they win that game at Texas, again, Texas is not ranked, but a good SEC team, then they're starting to be talked about again as a bubble team for the NCAA tournament. I think they're still on the outside looking in right now, but if they win that game against Kentucky, I think they're on the bubble, back on the bubble. And then who do they play after Texas? They play Alabama. Again, in Bud Walton Arena, so that's nice, but a really good Alabama team. You thought Kentucky was good. You thought Kentucky could shoot the ball, could score the ball well. Alabama is better. So that's all to come for the future, but for now, a really good win for the Razorbacks. All right, we'll move on to Arkansas State now. Over the weekend, they go on the road and take down Texas State 85-74. And really, in this game, they trailed for most of the first half. They didn't look amazing, and they've had stretches like that this season when they haven't looked amazing. And it's a team Texas State team that's not horrible, but not amazing, kind of middle of the line Sun Belt Conference team. But about the 4-minute mark of the first half, they went on a run, a 12-0 run to end the first half, and they kind of never looked back. After that. And I mentioned how, Arkansas, the Razorbacks' efficiency was the name of the game for them offensively. That was the same thing for Arkansas State. You want to see the numbers for them as far as field goal percentage versus three-point percentage? Field goal percentage, 57%. Three-point percentage, 61%. And they didn't shoot as many threes as they normally do. Joseph Pinion shoots like 7 3-pointers a game. He shot like 4 in this game. So they didn't shoot as much as they normally do. But 61%, that's really good. Again, you want that mid-40s range. Arkansas had above 50. Arkansas State had above 60%. So really impressive. That's been what they've hung their hat on at times this season, is making the three-pointer. And they did it in this game. So that was really impressive. They also did good on the glass, out-rebounded the Bobcats by 12. As far as specific players, I don't think I've talked about Isaiah Nelson on this show yet. And he goes under the radar a little bit as a pretty good player for this Arkansas State team, and it showed in this game. And a fun stat I got here via X was, first of all, 23 points, 11 rebounds, double-double, really impressive. 10 for 10 shooting, 100% shooting percentage, which is he's only the third player in Arkansas State history to go 100% shooting in a basketball game, which is pretty impressive. Now that is minimum of 10 shots. Or 10 field goal attempts, I should say. So obviously someone can get 100% field goal percentage if they just shoot one shot and play for 1 minute in a game. So it's minimum of 10 shots. So he reached that minimum of the 10 shots. He was 10 for 10 in this game, which is really impressive. So really efficient for Nelson, 23 points, 11 rebounds for his team. Terrence Ford added 20 points. Kobe Julian, who's kind of been quiet since conference play started. I know he's been dealing with an injury. I think he's back to fully healthy now. I'm not exactly sure, but Kobe Julian played really well in this game. To have someone his size, I mean, there's a reason he was I think he was a Sun Belt Player of the Year, or he's at least first team all Sun Belt. And for him to play well in this game, and for him to be trending in the right direction at the right time, that's good for Arkansas State, a team that has won 7 in a row. So that's what's up with the Red Wolves. We'll keep our men's basketball talk. We'll move on to women's in a second. But for men's basketball, we'll go to Little Rock now on Saturday. A nice win for them as well. The Trojans, they used a big second half to beat UT Martin 75-57. This one's a lot closer than that score makes it out to be. It wasn't until a little closer to midway through the second half when Little Rock kind of turned it on. UT Martin was shooting the ball well early on, and then they kind of just got flustered down the stretch, I think. And Little Rock was the better team, and they kind of showed it get those last, 10, 12 minutes of the second half. Really, the entire second half was when Little Rock had such a push forward and began to make that run. And it started, honestly, with Toom Gottkick, which, again, a month ago, you would have told me Toom Gottkick is kind of the go-to guy. Now, maybe he's not the go-to guy right now, but for him to be leading scorer and to be as incredible as he is right now, that's really impressed me. I know he started his career in the SEC, but for him to be, again, we're talking about this word efficient. For him to be so efficient in this game, 90% shooting, 9 for 10 from the field. A lot of those were one-hand dunks because he has arms that are longer than my entire body, I'm pretty sure. But he's a really, really impressive player. Not only can he lightly jump and dunk it, but he can make some mid-range shots as well. He goes to the line, he gets some free throws, and he does it all. I mean, he got the points. He also had 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals. Gottkick led them to a victory, which is really impressive. Not only was it Gottkick who had a really good game, and Wilkinson with 16 points, 4 3-pointers. Jonathan Lawson, 14 points, 4 3-pointers. Jordan Jefferson, who played good in this game in the first half, was great in the first half. I don't think he had any points in the second half, but when Little Rock was really struggling, Jefferson was getting them going, coming off the bench. These guys have been injured for a good part of the season, maybe a month or two before he came back a week or two ago. 11 points in this game, 3 3-pointers. Again, all in the first half, but that first half was big for Little Rock to stay with UT Martin because they were struggling a little bit. And in the second half, they came alive and got the win. That was big for them. They broke a 2-game losing streak. They kind of sputtered a bit the past 2 games, but this is still a really good team. This is a team that, again, I think could be probably the best team in the OVC if they put it together, if they had another guy back or two. But injuries have plagued them a little bit, just like the team we're going to be talking about coming up. But they're 1 game behind of first place in the OVC standings right now. They're in a 3-way tie for second place. The team that is above them in first place is Morehead State, who Little Rock plays this upcoming Saturday. So a really big game that we'll be talking about on next week's Luttie's Look Back. If Little Rock can win that game, that will be really big going forward, not only for their confidence, but also just for OVC standings, which is big heading into the tournament in about a month. So that is some Little Rock basketball talk. We'll move on to the UCA men's basketball team. I kind of teased it there for a little bit. The injuries have really hurt this team. Lane Taylor out for the season. I think that news broke Tuesday or Wednesday. So sad for the UCA team that has struggled this year and has leaned on Lane Taylor a lot. He's now out for the season. And then to start this game, when they played against North Alabama, Elias Cato didn't play. He aggravated a hamstring is what the website said. He aggravated his hamstring in warmups and didn't play in this game. So you know, they probably didn't have a huge chance to beat North Alabama in this game, but obviously you see the score behind me, a nearly 30-point loss. Certainly wasn't fully expected. I didn't expect them to win, I'll be honest, but to lose by this margin without Lane Taylor and Elias Cato, I think, you know, it's certainly difficult without both of those guys. And they struggled in a lot of areas in this game, but a big positive I do want to shout out is Braden Fagbemi. He stepped up and played really well in this game. Him and Lane Taylor have been the go-to guards. Now that Taylor's out, it's kind of up to him. The team's kind of on his shoulders, especially as far as guard play it goes. And the rest of the team didn't shoot very well from beyond the arc. He did. He was 7 of 9 from beyond the arc. He had 25 points in this game. The team didn't play good, but he did. And the Bears, they were never really in this game. So a tough loss for them for UCA. That is our men's basketball talk. Deep breath. All right, that's men's basketball. Moving on to the women's side, and we'll start with the Razorbacks. This from Thursday night, but how about Arkansas? Not only do the men get a really good game or a really good win over the weekend, so do the women. It's their second SEC win of the season and a pretty big margin of victory against a decent team in Texas A&M. 72-51, the final score there. Arkansas had the lead from the get-go and never trailed. We've seen that at times this season when they've had some good games for a quarter or two, so had some good stretches for a quarter or two, and then just struggle for a quarter. That never happened in this game. They led, and they kept leading, and then they won the game by 19. So, really impressive. 21, 19, 72-50. Yeah, math. Yeah, 19. Yeah. Right? No. Yes. But really impressive for the Razorbacks in this one. Probably the best game they've played all season as well, and that's all without one of their go-to score makers. Kiki Smith did not play in this game, but you know who did. Izzy Higginbottom, a double-double. I think her first career double-double. I could be wrong in saying that, but really impressive. 33 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, pretty close to triple-double. I think it's only happened twice in Arkansas women's basketball history. She got to the free throw line. That's what she does so well. On the men's side of things, Adu Thero does this really well, getting to the free throw line. She does that at a high rate. She was 11 for 13 from the charity stripe. So really good play on her part as always. Jenna Lawrence also played good from coming off the bench and scoring 11 points, 3 3-pointers. She provided a little bit of spark, enough that they needed it, right? That was a little bit of the difference in the game, is her big 3-pointers in this game to take down Texas A&M. So next up for the Razorbacks tonight, actually, facing off against Florida, another winnable game. I don't know if this was really a winnable game, but it was kind of an upset. They pulled the upset at home against a Texas A&M team that was probably better than them. An Aggies team that shot really poorly in this game. So, again, just like the men's team, see if the Razorbacks can ride this momentum and get a couple SEC wins under their belt before the conference tournament starts in about a month. So that is the Razorbacks. Move on to a team that is doing far better than the Razorbacks. That is the Arkansas State women. 10 wins in a row. They got a win 80-63 over South Alabama over the weekend. They did what they were supposed to do. South Alabama is not a team that is very good. You can see behind me they have 0 wins in conference play, so Arkansas State doing what they were supposed to, and this was a little close at times. They would go on a big run and separate themselves from the Jaguars, and the Jaguars would climb back, and then Arkansas State would go back up by 25 and then be back, within 10 or so, and then they kind of pulled ahead at the end, which is what they were supposed to do. But they were far better than the Jaguars in this game. Per usual, is the defense, really, the defense that helped them win this game. The full court press was in full effect. They caused 24 turnovers, and they had 20 steals. Yeah, I had to make sure I wrote that down right. 20 steals. They averaged like 7.5 steals a game, which is already a pretty good mark. Probably a little bit better than average in the Sun Belt. But they had 20 steals in this game, which is really impressive. Montu came off the bench and had 16 points. Zion Shannon with 22 points, 5 3-pointers. This is a team that can shoot well from beyond the arc. They didn't shoot incredibly well from beyond the arc in this game, but well enough, certainly, to win the game. So those are some of my thoughts about Arkansas State. We haven't heard from her all season long. Destiny Rogers, a third-year head coach for Arkansas State. Here's what she had to say after the game, talking about the win streak and more.
When I think about how far this program has come and, the first 2 years of me being a head coach, only winning 6 games in conference, already being at 10 with, more games to come. I'm just so proud of our program and who we have in our program. I just really feel like we have the right people in place, and we have the right people that truly believe in each other and are for each other. So I just want to first start out saying that I'm just really proud and blessed to be a part of this. And you talk about today, this is a game I think that is easy for anybody to kind of think that you should win this game, right? And I thought we had moments in the game where we kind of let them cut it to 4. And but credit to them, we got on them and they responded. And it was all about energy for us. But hey, we got the win. We're 10 in a row. And I'm just really proud of our team, of how far we've come from the start of the season to now.
Yeah, as Coach Rogers talked about right there, it's been really impressive. I mean, from her perspective, too, her 3rd year, and to go on, to not have amazing seasons her first 2 years, the past 2 years, and now to have a really good season. And now it's all about finishing that season, 10 in a row. But I'm sure she would tell you guys, as I'm going to tell you here, they've done nothing yet. That's really impressive. But the only way they're going to make it to the NCAA basketball tournament, unfortunately, is to win their conference tournament. So they got to keep the momentum going. They're 1 game back, I think half a game back maybe, of first place in the Sun Belt. James Madison is the other team that is first place. They won't play James Madison this season. It's kind of weird. I don't know why, but they don't play him. So hopefully JMU will lose a game. Arkansas State will find that 1 seed heading into the conference tournament. Again, that's all 1 month from now. But that is Arkansas State from over the weekend. Quickly, we got 2 more to get to, of course. UCA, talk about win streaks. A-State with 10 in a row. UCA has won their 8th in a row over the weekend with a 68-50 win over Queens. And this one, it was a little too close for comfort in the first half. This one, I was personally at that game for the first half. Of course, trying to get some highlights as my job entails. And there wasn't many in the first half. There were some, but there wasn't many. And then, of course, as soon as I leave, they ignite in the second half and just have a great second half in this game against the Queens team that they were far better than. Central Arkansas outscored Queens 43-25 in the second half. They only made 5 3-pointers, so a little below what their average is, but they found other ways to score. And one in particular, Abira for UCA had a really good game, 14 points and 12 rebounds. Jade Upshaw added 12 points. Cheyenne Kemp came off the bench. I think sophomore from Morrilton. So, they have a lot of players who are local kids, Central Arkansas kids, but cool to see that that Kemp played really well, 13 points off the bench for her. So a good day for UCA, and let's hear from head coach Tony Kemper after the game.
It's always good to win, and I think obviously our second half was pretty good. I didn't think we were good early defensively, and I thought that was evident. After the first quarter, we kind of cleaned that up. Our offense in the second quarter was probably as bad as I can remember it being in a while. And eventually we got that cleaned up too. But good second half. I think, on the radio we just talked about I think we were 14 of 15 from the free throw line in the second half. And it's we can make free throws when we're locked in and focused on the right stuff. I think I coached 2 different teams. I coached one in the first half, then I coached a really good one in the second half. Another good win. We've run off a pretty good string. We've got a tough one on Thursday in Jacksonville.
All right, so that's what's up with the Sugar Bears. Let's go to Little Rock now. The Trojan women suffering a 64-59 loss over the weekend to UT Martin. They trailed for most of this game. They had a 3-pointer at the end. If you guys watched the game, Faith Lee had a chance at the end. They clawed their way back into this game, so give credit to Coach Weedor for getting his players back into the game and keeping it close, and then having a chance at the end. And that's all you can ask for, is a chance at the end. Faith Lee misses a 3-pointer, and Little Rock loses. But, that's not to say that Faith Lee didn't have a good game. She's top 5, I think, in the OVC in scoring and points per game this season, and she showed why in this game. 20 points for her to go along with 5 rebounds. Shug Williams played well in this game. The one player who I didn't even write her name down, so I'm assuming she didn't get double digits. Maybe she did a little bit, but Jordan Holman, really, really great player for this Little Rock team. When they can get her going, especially when her and Faith Lee get going, it can be a really scary basketball team that is one of the better teams in the OVC. But a tough loss for them against a decent UT Martin team that was probably a little bit better than them in this one. I think that was Little Rock. I think they've now lost 2 of their last 3. So Little Rock struggling a little bit. They've played some good teams. They've had some tough road stretches, but hopefully they can keep things back headed in the right direction here as the season closes out in the next month. So let's go to Pine Bluff now, UAPB, and we'll talk about the women first. You see at the top there, getting their second conference win of the season against Mississippi Valley State. A big win, 68-39. And then on the men's side, things weren't as kind to the UAPB men. They fall 79-76. It was kind of funny leading up into this game. These are 2 teams that are, when you look at the net rankings, with NET net, those of you who haven't heard of that, it's basically a metric used, I think, by the selection committee to who gets in the NCAA basketball tournament. I think there's 364 teams, somewhere around that mark. Mississippi Valley State is dead last. UAPB is second to dead last. So these were two of the worst teams in all of college basketball facing off against each other. So I thought maybe UAPB could get their first conference win of the season, but just didn't happen in this game. They're still holding out hope. They got some time left to get one conference win on the season. But credit to the UAPB women for getting the win over Mississippi Valley State. We'll finish up with the Luttie's look ahead, and we'll look ahead to what is next for the Razorback men's basketball team on the road. Austin, Texas. Yes, it's sort of a rivalry. I mean, you can throw the horns down. Yes, you can. You definitely can. Much different than football, for sure. Much different than football. And basketball, this game it still means a lot. Maybe a little bit different, though, for basketball as far as the rivalry is speaking. But beyond the rivalry, this game is a big game. As I mentioned earlier, Arkansas, if they can win this game, they're back. They're putting themselves back into the conversation, back into the NCAA basketball tournament. I would guess there'll probably be a couple point underdogs in this game. But as always, you can tune in THV 11 on Wednesday night to tune into the highlights of that game, or if we may not have highlights by then, we'll certainly give you a score update from that game. That's going to do it for Luttie's Look Back, episode number 20. Folks, baseball next Friday. Baseball is back for the Razorbacks, for the Golden Lions, for UCA, for Little Rock, for Arkansas State. Baseball season is very close. So sooner rather than later, we're going to be talking a lot baseball, a lot less basketball, and a lot more baseball. So I'm really looking forward to that. But for now, this was episode 20 of Luttie's Look Back. Thanks so much for watching, and have a good week.